What is up, everyone? Nick here. Welcome to the show. If you're new, thanks for coming back. If you're not, as many of you know, I do have a degree in science, and I am continuously researching and uncovering novel, disruptive therapeutic and medical-based companies. Over the course of the past year, we have seen the importance of a robust medical infrastructure, therapeutics acting as the framework, the foundation keeping the entire sector afloat. As our world emerges out of the health situation and into a recovery phase, the precedent set on maintaining a robust medical system will remain in place and has opened the door for small-cap biotech companies to fill the current unmet medical needs. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a fascinating biotech company that many analysts believe could surge as both growth stocks experience a resurgence and transformative disruptive biotech companies look to position themselves for the coming health-focused landscape. Welcome to the show. My name is Nick. Before we get it today, make sure to always come to your own conclusions whenever allocating capital on the stock market. Penny stocks do come with more potential reward. However, this is typically paired with increased risk. Disclaimer, this is a sponsored video. Come to your own conclusions, do your own due diligence, do your own research. This is what makes you a smart and calculated investor. All right, ladies and gents, let's jump right into it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm first going to go over the company, who they are, what they do. I'm then going to go over where they see their company moving in the coming quarters, and then finally cover their analytics, balance sheet, and charting. Okay, so the company of today's episode is called Therapeutics Incorporated, trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange under ticker symbol ATE, based in Toronto, Canada. Now, I realize not everyone tuning in today has a degree in science or a deep understanding of therapeutics, so I'm going to break down what this company is trying to achieve and where they see their tech moving in an easily digestible manner. Now, Antibes is specifically targeting the massive market of inflammation and pain reduction. This potentially looking at a $30 billion opportunity. They have recently received US FDA clearance for their investigational new exciting compound, something we'll touch on shortly. They've also completed a $100 million deal. This company has huge potential upside. More on this shortly, but first let's get some background. Inflammation is a rapidly rising medical condition brought on by an extremely large quantity of issues. Antibes, through the use of their novel hydrogen sulfide platform, is attempting on addressing this currently unmet need. Now, with any biotech-based small-cap company, one of the first factors I look for is addressing how diversified the company is and how applicable and scalable their platform is, and I am really liking what I'm seeing here. They have a solid pipeline varied across different medical areas, currently with 3 assets, including chronic and acute pain, a safer version of aspirin, inflammation, and an anti-clotting and anti-cancer asset. Let's look at arthritis. Millions of people within the US turn to a group of compounds to alleviate arthritic pain called NSAIDs, which are non-steroidal anti-inflammation compounds. Around 84 million NSAID prescriptions are written every single year. However, many patients experience some form of side effects from first-generation NSAIDs. Yes, their joint pain has been reduced. However, this leads to other issues like GI damage and diminished cardiovascular safety. This is exactly where Antibes is stepping in, bridging this current unmet gap. Let's dive into what they're doing and where they're going with this innovative therapy. Their lead candidate is a compound called otanoproxazole. This is a hydrogen sulfide releasing analog of naproxen, something you may have heard of. As I stated previously, they recently received US FDA clearance for this compound. This is their lead compound, which targets chronic pain and inflammation. Now let's take a look at their pipeline. Otanoproxazole is currently through its phase 2 stage, which established human proof of concept. Their other 2 compounds are currently in their preclinical stages, however show future promise in the massive markets of anti-clotting, anti-cancer, and acute pain. Now, the company is also focusing on developing safer alternatives to opioids for post-operative pain. Furthermore, their next target is to combat IBD, or inflammatory bowel disease, a condition in desperate need of safer, more effective solutions. Antibes plans on entering phase 3 pivotal trials in the second half of 2021 for their lead candidate, which can be the time that lots of investor interest flocks to the stock. This is where human clinical trials begin. They recently showed dramatic gastrointestinal safety results, which also showed significant efficacy against a placebo. Their results were significant, showing the trials which received otanoproxazole had a much lower incidence of ulcers. These were further validated by third-party studies. They are also anticipating on expanding to help treat rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, and other acute and chronic pain conditions. Very promising future. Now, their lead compound is receiving a ton of attention currently, and other regions are taking notice. The company secured 4 regional partnerships, including China, which have been all secured to date. This was their $100 million licensing deal, partnering in the Greater China region. Specifically $20 million USD upfront, with $80 million in milestones and double-digit royalties. This licensing agreement was through Nuance Pharma, which is focusing on licensing, developing, and commercializing to address critical unmet needs in China and other Asian Pacific markets. They have licensing deals throughout Canada, Russia, Israel, and Sub-Saharan Africa. They also have a licensing deal for South Korea with $1 million upfront and $10 million in milestones. I am extremely excited to see these deals come to fruition. This is a company I've been following for a very long time, and to see these deals ink is really terrific. The company is also looking at other large markets, US, EU, UK, and Japan, which comprise of around 65% of the worldwide pharma sales, which could offer a significant upside opportunity for the company moving forward. For atenoproxazole, the studies project a peak annual sales of a whopping $3.9 billion and cumulative revenues of $23 billion by the year 2035. This is absolutely remarkable. This under the assumption of a conservative peak adoption of only 21% and only representing 65% of the global market. This is really just showing how far this compound could go and how far it could take the company and its shareholders. Keep in mind, this is just for their lead compound and not even including their other pipeline assets. Now, looking at their other assets, ATB352 is exposing the company to a potential $11 billion market. This is their asset focused on perioperative pain, addressing pain before and after operations, enabling non-addictive and potentially effective pain relief. And finally, their asset ATB340, a GI-safe alternative to aspirin, where proof of concept studies are already underway. Now, whenever looking at a company, I always like to take a deep dive into their management team. Their chief executive officer and director is Dan Legault. He is trained as a corporate lawyer and as an Air Force rescue pilot, quite the resume. He has other CEO-level experience, including organizations specializing in data analytics, IT, and consumer marketing. He has board of director experience, really liking what I'm seeing here. Dr. John Wallace is the company's founder and chief scientific officer. He is widely recognized as an expert in GI inflammation and in the development of innovative anti-inflammatory medicines. This is exactly why he is focused on this. He has co-founded other companies and chaired its scientific advisory board. He is extremely accomplished. Dr. Joseph Stauffer is the chief medical officer. He has practiced frontline medicine for a decade, including 8 years as a U.S. Navy general practice physician. He then joined the U.S. FDA as a medical review officer for anti-inflammatory and analgesic compounds. Dr. David Vaughn has extensive experience in bringing compounds from early investigation to regulatory approval. Elaine Wilson is the company's CFO. He is a founding partner of Revelstoke Partners, a boutique consulting firm focused on assisting mid-market companies in challenging circumstances. A very experienced management team. I am really liking what I'm seeing. Now, the stock is currently sitting at $3.90 Canadian. They are a small cap company with a very decent market cap of $178.32 million. They have a substantial 52-week delta with a high of $7.52 and a low of 3.05. They have yielded 200% exactly over the past 5 years, averaging 40% yield per year, greatly beating out the macro markets. They have consolidated from their recent highs. However, analysts see this as a potentially enticing entry point for long-term gains. They have a very solid cash position. They have generated revenue for quite some time now. They're forming deals. All in all, I do genuinely find this company fascinating. I will be keeping a very close eye on them and updating throughout the year. They're currently gearing up for further negotiations to regional and large market partnerships. I think their pipeline is very robust, exposing investors to in-demand markets, and I am extremely eager to see the results of their phase 3 human trials. Anyways, everyone, make sure to always come to your own conclusions whenever allocating capital on the stock market. Like I said before, penny stocks do come with more potential reward. However, this is typically paired with increased risk. Do your own due diligence, formulate your own opinions, gain as much research and knowledge as possible. This is your duty as a smart and calculated investor. Anyways, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, happy trading, cheers.